Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a GameReplays.org Heroes of New Earth cast. Today we are in the 5th round of the qualifying matches here for the GameReplays.org Season 3 Invitational Tournament. So we are down to the wire here, folks. This will be the last chance for all these teams here to gather up some points and make it to the top 8 for the Invitational Tournament. $3,000 on the line. A good incentive for everyone to see. Today, I am the Four Court Jester, and joining me for this cast will be ScizorLizard, and on our camera is, of course, SE. So how are you doing here, Skizor?
I'm doing quite well. It's a good day. I had a really good day yesterday. We're watching the ALS and casting that, and I hope that we see some really good matches today.
It's going to obviously be a little bit hard to follow up on the epicness that was yesterday with the Gosu Gamers HoN World Cup, but we will try to do our best. We do have one of the participants here, Team SK Gaming, here on the Legion side. They will be going up against Wahlin. I do believe that's a Scandinavian clan. It's at least from the Nordic Clan League, and they've made a good name for themselves, a very decent team to watch, and it has been my pleasure to cover them both. And they're going to be going head-to-head here in the qualifying round of 16 here in the last qualifying round 5. So that's a lot of qualifying rounds, isn't it, Skizzer?
Yeah, this is the last one though, so this is the one that will finally decide some stuff.
Yeah, other things to note is that MSI is actually not here today. They did have, one of the top spots in the invitational, in the qualifying invites for this round, but they have not shown up. So that will be a little bit of a wild card thrown in here. But let's get to the bans. So today we do have, I don't know, who do we have here, Skizzer?
We've got Slither banned because of how strong he is when he's solo on his short lane. He's one of the hardest people to go solo against. And when you're running a tri lane, then you have Swiftblade, who's really strong in tri lanes. He's really strong with a slow or a stun, and that magic immunity early on does so much damage. Bombardier is one of the strongest solos. Myrmidon is actually an amazing tri laner with his 2 stuns, and then you got Pebble is one of the best solo gankers, and Pharaoh, one of the best solos in the game as well, and a really strong initiator.
Yeah, so you kind of see a very trending ban sequence going here. A lot of these heroes, excepting really the Myrmidon, they're all very strong solo laners, aren't they?
Yep. And we have Sandwraith banned, who's one of the strongest carries if he can get farmed, which is the point of a tri-lane.
Yeah, having a good tri-lane with a Sandwraith, especially into the mid to late game, if you can get farmed up enough, it's definitely going to spell disaster for their opponents. Now, the Myrmidon ban, he's kind of really come up. As you said, great for the tri-laning, the Magikarp stun, as well as the Weed Field, just sets up so many potential kills. I've actually been very impressed with the hero overall these last few weeks, watching him in and around the different tournaments.
Yeah, he's a really strong tri-laner. That Magikarp does a ton of damage for how short of a cooldown it is, and the Carp works really well with another stun, and it does a lot of damage as well. So I expect to see a really good game.
And the last ban is going to be Dr. Repulsor. Nothing really too surprising there. He is one of the leading int carries of the game, especially just watching some of his recent play in like the Cyber Game or the HoN World Cup, other tournaments. It's just been just reaffirms the fact that his late game is just ridiculous to watch. I am a little curious. Soul Stealer was not banned despite being like one of the top played heroes on Nose as well as Nilet. I do remember looking at those a little earlier, but he is banned out of this game. Or not banned out of this game, so you could be seeing a potential pickup here. I do see the shadow pick here on Nose there, but yeah, and there he goes, solidified right off the bat. His favorite hero will be in his control for this game, Skizzer.
Well, SK picked up Thunderbringer, who is extremely strong against Soul Stealer because of how squishy Soul Stealer is. So they may have baited the Soul Stealer pick a little bit because Thunderbringer should be a Soul Stealer in lane in the early game, and with how many buffs came to Thunderbringer recently through the Assist Gold, Chalice, and then Spell Shards, he's an extremely powerful hero right now.
Yeah, the Spell Shard introduction into the game is the only item I believe that actually helps you scale your magic damage other than some of the auras that do negative magical armor. But this is just, a very good item. You do see it a lot popularized now also on Pebbles, on Witch Slayer, basically anyone.
Hey, are you guys streaming?
Thank you, Holy. Yeah. Yeah, there's a big D&D message saying we're streaming, but thanks. All right, so yeah, we do see spell shards here on the pebbles a lot as well as other heroes like the Witch Slayer. And actually, speaking of Witch Slayer, Angry Testy has him picked up in the shadow right here.
Well, I think that they'll pick up Witch Slayer. He's a really strong tri-laner. He stays relevant for the entire game with 6 seconds of CC, and they pick up Voodoo Jester and Hellbringer instead. Hellbringer for that really strong initiation, for how big it is and how it can cancel channeled ultis, and it goes through BKB, and then Voodoo Jester, who's really strong in the tri-lane as well.
Yeah, a lot of tri-laning potential definitely going around here. It is almost exactly like, you get into this top-end tier of play, and it's just, we always assume that there's a tri-lane that's going to be happening. It's just something we have come to just really default to, hasn't it? I mean, that's a big change as opposed to, 6-8 months ago.
Yeah, the metagame's really shifted towards this tri-lane strategy. I'm really hoping to see that 2-2-1 get popular, because there's a month or two where it started getting popular and the tri-lanes were losing against it, but then the solo players got better, they could handle themselves a lot better, and they started winning their own lanes even against 1 versus 2. And you got Thunderbringer, who can farm 1v2 in mid, and then you've got Wretched Hag, who can function 1v2, Bubbles, who can function 1v2. It's just that the tri-lane is a guaranteed way to get your carried farm, unless you're going tri-lane against tri-lane, which can really decide the game on which side wins.
Yeah, if the two tri-lanes do butt heads, it is going to become, really, it does come down to different aspects of warding, rune control, extra ganks from your really farmed solo heroes, how much jungling you can pull out of it. I mean, a lot of big factors do go into that, and it's just a really nice way to go these days. So a little bit here about what we just picked up. We did have the Witch Slayer not going to be going on Angry Testy. We're going to have that picked up here by Krylie? Is it Krylie or Krylie?
I think it's Krylie.
My pronunciations are just terrible today.
It feels better to say Krylie.
All right, Krylie it is with Nillet there on the bubbles. Now, as we were just talking about, Bubbles could definitely do a good number in that long lane. His survivability early game is just through the roof. One of the most survivable heroes, probably akin to Wretched Hag as well as the Valkyrie. I was looking at the Wretched Hag shadow pick. Didn't make too much sense to me, but at this time it does not look like we're going to be going that. But it does have a Magebane now in that lineup. Magebane's something we just don't see that often, is it, Skizzer?
The last time we saw him was with Sniper Dead, and that was a game where he got over 650 gold per minute in a competitive game, if I recall correctly. And we have a slightly synchronized ready up from the Legion team.
Slightly. Yeah, a little delayed there. 3, 2, 1 plus leg. Yep.
No, Cardinal kind of messed it up.
Silly Cardinal. But when was that Sniper Dad game?
I think it was about a month ago. I don't recall exactly when it was, but it was a really impressive performance. They kept on stacking the jungle, and he was just going through and through, farming and farming. The opposing team didn't send anyone down after a little while because they were just feeding Magebane at that point. And so Magebane just got 20 or so minutes of free farm and took over the game.
Well, we might see something here out of Team SK Gaming, or then again, we might not. Both teams here are top-tier teams. The last pickup here for the SK, I think, was the Devourer, and that solidified their lineup there. We do have the last pick over here, and now the teams are solidified. We will be running here, but it is going to be Pestilence as the last pickup here on the Hellborn. So possible lane combinations would definitely probably be that Pestilence with an Andromeda combination, the double armor negative stacking, the triple armor negative stacking with the Soul Stealer later into the game, should be putting out a lot of physical damage for everyone involved. Bubbles, Pestilence, and the Soul Stealer are all going to be hopefully hitting very hard into this late game. But with this lineup, I mean, if they are going to go a tri lane, is that going to be the Witch Slayer to go with him? And that's going to leave us, yeah, that's going to leave us with the Raphael Ninja Turtle as well as the Soul Steer to take out their solo lanes. What do you think here for the Legion, though?
The Legion, I think they're going to be doing an offensive tri lane because of Thunderbringer not having an escape mechanism. So he'll probably be soloing the bottom lane, as it looks like Thunderbringer is heading towards bottom to solo. And because Thunderbringer, he can get chased down. Got really poor move speed early on, and like he can farm, but he can't really do much to stop the opposing carry's farm, and he doesn't have that important escape mechanism. So the tri lane is going to be an offensive tri lane, which is going to be on their long lane, with Thunderbringer soloing the short, and then Cardinal on Devour. Kind of surprised we didn't see Betas. I'm used to seeing Betas play Devourer, but Cardinal plays a strong Devourer as well. So that should be interesting. If he can land those hooks, Soul Stealer is a guaranteed kill.
Well, if you took a look at Beatus' most played heroes, they are more of that support role as opposed to Devourer now. Of course, Devourer is not a support hero, so I'm not too sure I can say that I've actually seen Beatus play that Devourer, as he has been doing a lot of support around. We do have a very early Ward of Sight coming out here from Mr. Pink on Team Wahlin, and that's going to be easily seeing this top tri-lane. So it will be a tri-lane versus tri-lane up top. We do have the Witch Slayer as well as the Andromeda here in the support role for the Pestilence, and that's going to put us with a Hellbringer and Voodoo Jester to be helping out Angry Testy on the Mage Bane. So, I mean, we do kind of have two ranged and the melee carry, the two babysitters. We are not going to be warding this top creep camp. That's something I noticed straight off the bat.
Yeah, and another thing that just happened, Hellborn just counter-warded the first ward that the Legion team placed down, because the Hellborn had that early ward out. They saw exactly where the Legion put it, and then they just counter-warded it pretty easily.
Oh, well, talking about a little bit of counter-warding, a little bit of counter-initiation, we do have Angry Testy just going down so very quickly. Took a ton of damage from this tri-lane. And now this is going to be a triple disabled tri-lane with the Impale, the Comet from Andromeda, as well as the Graveyard from Witch Slayer. So Team SK is going to have to be very, very careful when they go up into any kind of initiation on this top lane. Down south, we do have Bubbles taking on the Thunderbringer, and we're going to have to see which one falls first. Where do you think the first blood's going to be? As I say that, I'm looking at Hellbringer.
That's what I'm looking at as well. And honestly, I think that the Hellborn has a stronger tri-lane because of how many stuns they have. And I kind of think that the Legion tri-lane is fairly weak, because they just have a stun from Voodoo Jester and then the dot from Hellbringer to harass. Like, I don't expect much to come out of this Legion tri-lane.
No, at this point, well, they are down 1-0, but the amount of disables from both teams, all we really do have is a bouncing cask to go around from the Voodoo Jester. Other than that, it's just pure damage that needs to come out of both the Hellbringer as well as Mage Bane, at least until level 6. I mean, after level 6, the game changes pretty dramatically, as we do have the introduction of Malphus coming out with the Hellbringer, as well as the ultimate coming out from Voodoo Jester, who's Spirit Ward. Now, that should have been fairly easy to figure that part out. But more initiation going down here is just right now. We do have Mage Bane going to go on the offensive, going to be trying to take down this Witch Slayer. He does indeed, but he still has 5 seconds on that next blink. He's not going to be getting out of that. A little bit of a revenge shield coming out. The Hellbringer will be taking out that Pestilence, and now Andromeda is going to be running for the hills. So a 2-to-1 exchange. That brings us right back up to par, so to speak. 2-2. So, I mean, they came out ahead in that regard, even without that extra disable.
Yeah, the Hellborn initiated at a bad spot because Witch was already low, and then he was just taking hits from both of the supports as he throws out his Graveyard Stun, and he's already at less than half HP, so it was really poor initiation. But one thing I want to talk about is the way that you shut down Mage Bane early game is you stun him, and you've got 3 stuns against him, so I don't really agree with this Mage Bane pickup. I really don't see the point of it.
Well, as he said, I mean, you did see that one game where he just did some fantastic work, and I mean, it has been a long time since we've seen that. It might be just a scare tactic at this point. Maybe it's something SK has been playing around with. As we said, we don't see Mage Bane really up top in these kind of matches. So they might be banking on the fact that simply because you don't see them, they have a strategy in mind. We're going to have to see how Wahlin here can counter that.
Well, the thing about Mage Bane is he needs to get that early rune dex in order to be effective. And it's just like a Sandwraith tri lane. You have to have it on your short lane or else it's not going to be that effective because Mage Bane, he needs a lot more farm than just 6 creep kills after 4 minutes. He needs to get that strong farm, and he's just not getting it right now.
Well, it is the tri-lane versus tri-lane. Now, if we did have the solos here swapped, could be a very different scenario with Mage Bane taking a lot of just essentially a free lane, so to speak. But no, they will be butting heads. Now, in terms of Pestilence, I mean, right now he's sitting at 7 creep kills, so he's almost in the same boat here as Angry Testy. So, I mean, but at the same time, I mean, are we going to be looking to him to scale nearly as much here as Angry Testy?
I don't think so. He just needs to pick up his portal key, and then he can start doing really strong initiations. He can be really effective with his ultimate to stun combination, and like he's going to be doing a lot of damage without the 4,700 gold that Mage Bane needs to be effective. He just needs 2,650, 2,150 now because of he got his boots.
Well, speaking of boots, it's not quite boots, but it is a haste rune down south. The Soul Steer coming in for a great gank. You were talking about the lack of a survivor mechanism there on that monkey, the Thunderbringer, and that's exactly what just happened. The haste rune, which is not warded, by the way. In fact, we don't actually have any wards in the southern half of this map at all, and that just allowed the Soul Steer to come in right to there, grab that kill, and we just have exchanging blows up top. But that's going to be putting Bubbles in a really good situation. He's now 6, where we still only have Thunderbringer here at 5.
Yeah, Bubbles, I think that Bubbles is a little bit more effective in the solo lane because of how well he can harass and farm at the same time, but that can be said about Thunderbringer as well. But the thing that I like about Bubbles is now that he's 6, he can port up to top and set up a gank on this Legion tri-lane, and with all due success, in my opinion, because they're going to be disabled, they're going to be limited, and there's 3 stuns right there. So I think I like that a little bit more, but TB does offer a lot of burst damage come any part of the game now.
Yeah, after he hits his 6, and actually probably after he hits his 8, Blast of Lightning and Lightning Rod will be really high up there in the skill levels, and that's going to be really putting on the hurt, especially against this Witch Slayer and Andromeda. I mean, they're squishy by nature. Only 500 hit points sitting on both of them right now. I think they're actually the 2 weakest heroes hit point wise at this point. So yeah, we will be seeing a lot of burst coming into play a little bit later on down the line. Up top, still just exchanging blows, but we haven't really talked about mid here. We do have Cardinal on the Devourer, but Soulsteer, I mean, he's a very heavy farmer as well. Who's winning that lane?
All right, it looks like Soulsteer's actually winning the lane. He hasn't died. He's gotten a kill, and the point of Devourer versus Soulsteer is to shut Soulsteer down, but Soulsteer got a point in his aura of Dread before getting the Soulsteal finished off.
Okay.
It's a little bit weird.
He also does not have his ultimate, despite being level 7.
Well, you don't get your ultimate till level 9 or level 10 because an ultimate with 15 charges is really weak compared to one with 30 charges, and you'd rather just build up charges. Mm-hmm. But it's really weird to see someone pick up Dread this early on, just because you need to get it early. You need to finish up your souls, you need to finish off your demon hands. Your demon hands let you farm, and your souls let you be effective early on.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So,
well, there might be a reason, there might not be a reason. It could have been, just in panic, or it could have been something else. Right now, he is up in the jungle, and he is sitting at level 3 Soul Steal now after just hitting that level 8. So he's right back to pumping that Soul Steal. So I don't know. Maybe he did it just simply for the extra damage on that gank from the Hellbringer down south. Could have been simply just because of something as simple as that.
Maybe, but I think it was just a misclick, because that happens from time to time. And funny thing, Soul Stealer and Devourer have just been trading taunts for the past 8 minutes. It's just kind of funny to see that taunt right above both of their heads.
They like to know where each other are?
Apparently.
Keeping tabs on each other? I don't know. Could be anything at this point. Right now, we did have Solster. He went back to town. He picked himself up some steam boots. He already had that bottle from before, as well as a homecoming stone, so we might be seeing some possible action from him fairly soon. Right now, Devoury, he's just sitting on the marchers. He has himself an iron buckler. Now, I can only assume that's going to be coming into Helm of the Black Legion.
Yeah, that's probably what will end up happening, or it's just for early laning because Soul Stealer has such poor base damage to start with, and Devourer just needs to tank up some of that damage, and he can, if he can land that hook, it's a death. So I think Cardinal's wishing for some luck and some good times.
Could very well be. At this point, really just both teams are playing very passively. We're at the 9.5 minute mark in just a few seconds, and we only got 5 kills here registered on the board. The differences between the two teams is that SK is leading a little bit here in the experience, but we do have a little bit of a gold lead here for Team Wahlin. And really, it's just passive play at this point, isn't it?
Yeah, and somehow Angry Tessie's taking over on the creep kills for the tri-lane, which is kind of surprising because I was really expecting the Hellborn tri-lane to do a lot more, but right now Devour is invis, so they're just sitting back at tower, just waiting for Devour to show up again.
Not a bad idea, but I mean, this switch, as I said, he's really low by default, and look at that Cardinal picking up the kill with the help of that Thunderbringer from way down south. Bubbles is ported up top as well to help out. Andromeda ran like a sissy girl into the trees, and now that's almost going to be a free kill at this point for the Devourer. But we do find Soulstealer level 8 up against level 5 Hellbringer. He just popped himself a haste rune. That's going to not save him from anything here as he goes down. Beat is bitch slapping his opponent down with the flamboyant voice pack there. Pretty fun stuff, but that was pretty good for... Oh, who died on SK team? Hellbringer.
Yeah, Hellbringer, Trophimodor.
That's odd. It didn't seem to die on my screen. Okay, well, that was, what, a 2 for 1 exchange?
Yeah, that's what it looks like. They got Witchslayer and they got Soulstealer, which is a really important kill. Soulstealer was nearing the 300 gold per minute mark, and they need to get that kill on him.
Well, it's unfortunate that he ran into 3 SK there in the river, but I mean, even with that haste rune, I'm not too sure he would have been able to get away from that. Now, we were talking a little bit earlier here in the picks about, you know, those squishy heroes, tri-lane burst potential. Now, and we did see that Witchslayer, he dropped so tremendously fast against the combination of Devour as well as the ultimate coming out of Thunderbringer, and simply because, I mean, he's level 4. He was level 4, 500 hit points against, you know, the solo mid Devourer, who's now level 9 with over 1,400 hit points. I mean, that's just quite the difference of scale right there.
Yeah, it really is. And if you noticed when Thunderbringer ulted, Andromeda went down to 3/4 life from full HP. Like, that's how little HP pools they have right now. They can't really survive much bursts, but they sure can still tri-lane. I'm just still wondering why this tri-lane is not working as well as I was expecting it to. I was really expecting the Hellborn tri-lane to take over this game.
I don't know, man. Maybe it's just simply skill level. Maybe it's just opportunities are not there, or they're not being seized as much as they want. I mean, it has been a very passive game. This lane has gone up and down, but it's mostly stayed more towards this side of the river. Right now, SK is pushed up against the tower, even with Bubbles there looking to do some kind of gank. I mean, it's very hard to do a tower dive, or justify a tower dive, when 2 of the heroes are just hitting level 5s and 4s. I mean, even right now, Pestilence is level 5. And he's the main carry of that lane.
Yeah, the supports for both teams are staying close to the tri-lanes because the fact that the Hellborn tri-lane, if they get an opportunity to stun Magebane, they will, and it'll most likely be a kill on Magebane. But the Legion team needs to be wary of that, so they have to keep their supports nearby to try to prevent that.
It's all very defensive at this point. Nobody really wants to sacrifice anything in a kill here. But talking about a kill, we do have a good amount of damage going down here. Hellbringer is going to be dropping as well. SK beat us. He's going to throw out his ultimate, going to land 2 kills. No, he's going to get the assist. No, he's going to get the assist. Double tap for SK, with the help of Beatiz, he landed himself his own kill, and even Magebane cleaning up a little bit there. That was a 4-for-1 exchange. So right now, whatever we thought we knew about this tri lane, it's not working, Skizzer.
Yeah, and Thunderbringer, he just brought down their lives so much. Hellbringer was right about to die, and then right as Hellbringer reached the 50 HP mark, Thunderbringer brought off his ultimate, and suddenly Hellbringer had 300 HP. I was like, hey, where did you get all that HP from, man? Why don't you share with everyone?
And down they went.
Yeah, that's essentially what happened.
Now, important to note here is that the Soulsteer, he was not part of that fight. He was down south in the bottom lane, just happily farming away. He's now level 10 now. And he's definitely the leading hope here for Team Wahlin. Now, we have seen a good Soulsteer just totally wreck farmed teams before and just bring this game back into favor, but he's going to have to be very careful. I mean, Beatiz right now, Ward of Sight, throwing that down, finding the Soulsteer as he's jungling, and it does look like his first item pickup is likely going to be that Shrunken Head, because he does have a Mighty Blade in the inventory.
Well, yeah, he doesn't want to just get walked to death by Devourer, and it looks like you were right on the Helm of the Black Legion for Devourer. He's running right straight towards it, and he's got it right now. He just picked it up.
Well, 14 minutes as a solo lane. I mean, right now, 200 gold a minute sitting on Cardinal. The top leader of the game is going to be Tobacco, and he's playing that Thunderbringer. 338 gold a minute. Sorry, nope, that was a lie. 330 gold a minute. I looked at the wrong column there. I mean, right now, Nose, just taking a quick look top, Magebane, he is going to get finally comboed down from this triple stun combination. I guess somehow that Wahlin knew that his disables were not around, and they just went for that kill. But a revenge kill here in the mid, probably a more important kill, is going to be that Soulsteer, dropping him to a 2-2 score and dropping his gold to minute to 240 and falling. And this could actually be the first tower kill here in the mid.
Yeah, I think this tower is going down for sure. Devourer, he just hid in these trees right up here. He hooked Soulstealer in, and then I think the Hellbringer ultimate was a bit overkill, but it guaranteed the kill.
Well, I mean, every good reaction creates itself a positive reaction. So we do have a bottom tower now destroyed. Thank you, Bubbles, so picking that up. So 1-1 for the towers, and 1-1 for the kills. So right now, Wahlin, they're definitely not wanting to give this game up. We are well past the concede range. I mean, we're at 16 minutes now, and right now, a definite lead here for SK Gaming. 4,800 experience, 4,000 gold. Devour going to be finding this Witch Slayer in the jungle. The hook is going to get him on the return, but that was a very quick miniaturize. I'm not too sure. Oh, a good swap coming out of Andromeda, and now Devour just so cocky, and he's going to go down to Bubbles. Criley.
Yeah.
Had to pop the Welt field? No, that's not right. The Kelp.
Apparently, I think they just really wanted him dead.
Can't blame them.
That Devourer was probably taking them off a bit.
Well, it's always a mind game with Devour. If there's a missing Devour, oh, is he going to hook me? Oh, do I have to, dance around? Do I have to stay back? I mean, the longer you can keep him dead, the more safe and secure, your families will be.
Yeah, that's so true. And one thing I'm expecting to see a lot more right now is, you notice there's no wards on Kong. I expect the Hellborn team to ward up Kong, to counter ward Kong, and then to start taking Kongor kills. Because they've got the Pestilence ultimate, they've got 3 levels of Aurora, they've got 1 level of Dread. They could take Kong right now.
So that would be -5 armor, plus -2 armor, plus
-4, I believe.
So 4, 5, and 2, that's... Well,
11.
Yeah, let's see. My math skills say 11. 11 negative armor on a Kongor, and his base armor is...
Almost 5.
So that's -6 armor. It could definitely be a very quick kill if they can... But, if they need to land it, they need to have that good opportunity. As you said, there's no wards at all. So maybe if they can pick off somebody from SK, they'll gain the confidence to just go in there and snipe him off. But we need to land that kill first.
Yeah, and I really hope they don't make the same mistake that was made yesterday in the ALS finals, the Amateur League division, where you have a really strong Konging lineup and you don't Kong.
Okay, so Yeah, let's not go with that, but instead, let's go for a kill up top on Andromeda. So not exactly what Wahlin was hoping there, as she's, the squishy girl from space. She's been back jettisoned to wherever she came from. Pestilence is going to try a little bit of farming here, but he's at half health as well. This could be very dangerous for him, but no, he's going to run. Very smooth move on his part, because we do have a very easy kill to be setting up here between the Hellbringer and the Voodoo Jester.
Yeah, so as I was saying, like, the team yesterday forgot that they have such a good Kong potential, and they didn't Kong till about 35 minutes in. Well, I was hoping to see Wahlin take Kong at about 15 minutes in, and then right when it came up again and again, because of how much that token can help them and how strong Pestilence is on the Hellborn lineup.
Well, with negative 11 armor, I mean, it's going to be stacking that on a Kongor. That's going to be a lot of negative armor. It's going to be a lot of negative armor for anyone in that regard. But it does not look like they have any interest in that right now. They are on the defensive. I mean, this top tower is now coming within deny range. It's at 153 hit points. This bottom tower is also taking shots from these creep waves as well. Now, I do think Magebane, he'll be approaching his Runed Axe in fairly short order. He's at 600 gold, only needs that Claymore.
Yeah, he's really close, and once he gets that, they're probably going to start stacking the jungle, and he's just going to tear through it with his ridiculous attack speed and his blink. So he's going to be taking over the farm game, but I really like this Hellborn team still, just because it's a classic lineup that we've seen many times before. It's effective, and it has that Kong potential, but they just need to do Kong.
Not going to happen until they can gain an advantage in this game. I mean, right now, SK is ahead nearly 5,700 experience, 4,500 gold. And so, you'd need to kind of throw a dent in there, a wrench in their plans, and then push the issue home by sniping off a free Kongor. But right now, they are in no position to do that whatsoever. I mean, they're just with the towers just taking free shots, one already down, and they're trailing in kills. You really have to pick your battles at this point.
Yeah, you really do. And I really hope they can get a pick off soon and then take that Kongor kill, because it would definitely be game changing. And I think that Tobacco is working on his Nullstone right now, and then into spell shards. A lot of things I see going on in pubs is you go boots and then spell shards, and then you finish your boots. You have to get your core items first. Spell shards let you scale into the late game and even be stronger in the mid game, but you gotta get those core items in order to survive, to deal out that damage.
Speaking of core items, we are just now hitting the 20-minute mark. Do we have any kind of impressive pickups at this point, sir?
Not really, except for the portal key on Pestilence, which is going to be huge for these team fights. I think that the Hellborn team's probably going to start gathering up, and they're going to start pushing. They're going to try to get some strong ganks off, because there aren't that many wards up from SK Gaming aside from a lane ward down at the bottom lane, and that's it right now for Legion warding. So if the Hellborn can capitalize on this, they can play really aggressively.
It could be very possible, as you say. I mean, right now we do have a little bit of counter warding going on. Mr. Pink is taking care of that, and their other wards are now just starting to, dissipate, so to speak. We do have a lot of presence down here by the Hellborn in the Legion jungle. We have at least 4 heroes, and we do have, I don't know, it could be labeled bait, the Soul Stealer in the mid, but we have, about a half health tower here in the mid. They might try to push the issue home, but they also might be gathering up for that Kongor. They know they've swept through the forest, and now they are gathered here at his doorstep. They have to know that SK is just on the left-hand side of the map. It does look like they will try to do this. Let's see what they can do. -4 armor, -4 armor, -5 armor, so that we're up to -13. He is dropping like a rock, sir.
Yeah, and they place their wards really offensively with this ward down here to the left of the ward revelation. It shows them if they're coming from this area, and they already know that Magebane was down here, and they counter warded, and Kong was free for them. And I expect ScizorLizard to have picked up the token, and he did.
He also, just before he picked up the token there, he did pick himself up a shrunken head. And now with the teleports up top, they're going to get a revenge kill for that tower. B-Diz is going to be hitting the hay with that Voodoo Jester going down. So right now, a lot of big momentum building up here for Wahlin. Now with a Kongor token and one hero down, it could be time to start pressing some towers, or at least getting a little bit more farm or setting up a gank. They got to do something with this, little pocket of a lead that they have started up here.
Yeah, and one of the viewers sent me a whisper and said that it was probably B-Kid I was thinking about for the Devour. And I think that's actually right. B-Kid, B-Diz, both of them are pretty good.
They're like anagrams for each other these days, yeah.
Yeah. So thank you for that.
Alright, down south we do have the bottom tower now destroyed as well. So that is going to be all three towers here for by the river for the Hellborn. They are going to be down, and that's going to be creating a decent amount of gold lead here for SK Gaming. I mean, they're still ahead in the experience. They're still ahead in gold. A great Devourer hook grabbing that Witch Slayer. He just goes down so very quickly to the Tobacco and the Cardinal combination. They're going to be pushing this lane, maybe looking for a little bit of free damage. Not too sure. Level 7 Andromeda would be enough to push him back, but they will retreat nonetheless. And just taking a quick look here at the Monkey himself, Nullstone has been picked up for him, so he's rocking some pretty insane mana regeneration with the Chalice as well.
Yeah, and so he's got pretty much unlimited mana per se, but it's not really unlimited. I'm just using it as a term, so don't bash on me too much. And Andromeda gets hooked.
Yeah. Well, this might be good for them because Andromeda, she just took a big brunt of their skills, and down goes the Kelp Field. As you see, we do have Tobacco blowing off his ultimate. In goes the Portal Key Pestilence. We do have a Portal Key on Bubbles as well, but he's not going to be needing it this fight. It looks like SK is going to cut their losses there, 2 for 1, but it was a very important kill that Tobacco, Tobacco is right now the top level of the game, 440 experience minute, 365 gold a minute. Very important kill for Wahlin to get to keep up their morale.
Yeah, Tobacco is starting to take over the game. He's already farming 363 gold per minute as Thunderbreeder. He's got, more importantly, he had a level lead. ScizorLizard just hit 14, and it looks like ScizorLizard picked up his shrunken head. I'm not sure if you said that already,
yep.
But that's a really strong pickup, and I expect him to be picking up a Portal Key relatively soon with this lineup because of Bubbles and Pestilence, and eventually a Portal Key on Witch Slayer as well.
Could be a very mobile team, a lot of good map control to come out of them, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. Devourer, after that Helm of the Black Legion, all he's picked up is a Mystic of Vestments. Now, he's not farming nearly as well as this other solo companion, but at the same time, he was solo, so to speak, so we do have a courier. What's on the courier? Just some wards and a homecoming stone, but likely that Mystic Vestments is going to just build itself into that Shaman's Headdress fairly soon. Down goes the mid tower, and down goes the Malphus, but we do have the Pestilence Portal keying in as well, and just a hook going to be saving Hellbringer from that, but look at the damage coming out of Soul Steer. That's going to be picking him up a kill, but Speediz was able to drag someone down with him at the same time. Tobacco goes down yet again, and Malphus is just really too slow to be chasing anyone at this point. He goes down for a little bit of extra gold, and that looks like a 2-for-2 exchange here in the mid, but important, this mid tower is now been destroyed on SK Gaming side.
Yeah, and the kill was definitely in favor of the Hellborn team. They initiated, they picked off Thunderbringer and Voodoo Jester, and they only lost their 2 tri-lane supports of Witch Slayer and Andromeda. So that was definitely a worthwhile trade. And that was a really good hook from Cardinal, saving Hellbringer. That was pretty clutch.
I'm not too sure if it was on purpose, however. It might have been going for a kill, but hey, saving a teammate prevents a kill nonetheless. Now, we did see there, Devourer just charged that Soul Stealer, and what did Soul Stealer do? He portal keyed right out of it. So he picked that up extremely quickly after that Kongor kill.
Yeah, with how much stun this Hellborn team has, I really am happy with this Portal Key pickup. Normally, I actually don't like Portal Key on Soul Stealer anymore since the nerfs. But with Bubbles, a Pestilence, and eventually a Witch Slayer with Portal Key, he's got so much stun and CC time that he can just port in, do his ultimate right on top of someone, and insta-gip them.
Well, if you include the Andromeda Ultimate, we do have 4 heroes that can just port into a fight whenever they want. So that is going to be extremely strong for them. Now, after that, team fight, really the experience and the gold differentials didn't really change that much. We're still in and about the 3,000 and 6,000 experience and gold differences, and they're still here in favor of SK. So SK's not giving up this fight, very easily. Magebane, he's going to get not ultimated upon. He's going to get initiated upon here, but with that blink of his, he's just going to get out of that, no problem. They do call it flash nowadays, but we didn't go over this Magebane earlier, but we do have himself that runed axe. He probably picked it up a few minutes after we noticed he was just one component away. And to go with that, a Whispering Helm, not too surprising at this point.
Yeah, I really expect him to go the same build that Sniper Daddy did, where he went Steam Boots, Runed Axe, Symbol of Rage, Demonic Geometers, and then Demonic Breastplate.
That sounds like a pretty good combination.
Yeah, especially against the Hellborn lineup where they have a ton of people and they just all ported down to bottom to kill off that Devourer.
Bitch slapped, yeah! So yeah, bitch slapping going down. We do have Andromeda sacrificing herself to save a teammate. I think it was to save a teammate. Didn't quite see who she exactly swapped, but a 1-for-1. I mean, taking a Devourer for an Andromeda, definitely again in the favor here of Wahlin. But yeah, that was, 4 portal keys, or so 4 homecoming stones coming down south just to get rid of that Devourer.
Yeah, Devourer, if you can shut him down early game and mid game, he's not much of a threat late game. All he has is a mediocre disable late game if he doesn't get all those kills early game. Because right now he's only getting +5 strength from his cadaver armor. So he's not in the best of shape.
No, his items are definitely not in the best of shape either. But, what is Tobacco doing? He's just going to be running right into all 3. Look at the body blocking going on here from Bubbles. And right now, geez, was that a silver bullet that almost did nothing against Tobacco? Oh, that was probably the nullstone going off.
No, the nullstone took down the swarm. The silver bullet barely did any damage to Tobacco whatsoever.
It's still level 1. Still level 1, that's why. It only is supposed to do 500 magic damage. And we save, 25% for heroes? So let's call that 375. Who doesn't seem to be living up top? It will be that Hellbringer. So he's going to go down, no problem. I wonder if he disconnected or anything. We do have a pause coming out here.
Yeah, and right now these 3 are just... apparently Tessie's taking care of some problems with his brother downloading porn. So let's hope that he can get that problem figured out. But we've got Bubbles, Pestilence, and Andromeda just roaming around killing people right now. And then you got Witchslayer who's warding that rune. He's... Actually, I'm not quite sure. I think he's just waiting to get this rune for their Soul Stealer or just to take it right now. But it doesn't look like Witchslayer is close to his portal key at all, which is kind of depressing. It's really awesome to see Witchslayer just porting in and doing 6 seconds of CC on someone.
I'm pretty sure he's not going to end up getting a portal key in this game. He has been taking care of majority of all the warding, and I mean that's just going to be a constant drain on his gold. The other constant drain, he's 1-5-3. So assist gold aside, he almost loses it completely to his deaths. So, and he's not farming creeps at all, 8-3, but he's just playing support the way, people like to play support. They're supporting here. I really don't expect him to be able to save up enough money for a portal key and keep up with his warding duties.
Yeah, which is sad, but it happens.
It does. I'm not too sure it's going to happen for him this game.
Well, Thunderbear has 2,000 gold saved up. I'm expecting to see that spell shards coming up relatively soon, as he gets about 500 more gold. Angry Tessie has 4,200 gold, so he's about 100 away from finishing up that Symbol of Rage. Or he could be grabbing a BKB right now.
At 4,200 gold?
Yeah.
Let's just take a quick look. 3,900 gold for the Shrunken Head. The Symbol of Rage is 6,000, but he already has that Whispering Helm. So let's call it 2,000. That's 4,100. Yep, that could definitely be a quick pickup for him. 6,000 gold for a Symbol of Rage. That's I guess I never really looked at the cost as an all-in-one shot. But he has been farming these jungles pretty quick. He's level 16 now. Top of his team, top of Wahlin here is going to be the Soul Steer. Not too surprising there. 511 experience a minute. He's just, these Demon Hands, 2 Demon Hands just destroyed this entire creep wave. So, I mean, it's not that surprising. It's very hard to keep down a Soul Steer as well, especially one built very nicely like this one with the Steam Boots, the Portal Key, Shrunken Head, and we still have this Token of Life for the next minute.
Yeah, and we're getting close to the 35-minute mark, which is when Soul Steer cannot two-shot those waves with his hands. So his farm might be slowing down a little bit, but I think it's going to stay constant. And I think that he's going to be picking up his Geometers relatively soon, or a Frostburn really soon. So he just bought something. He picked up a Blessed Orb, so he's probably going straight into that Geometers right now.
Blessed Orb could also be his, it might not be a Geometers, might just be the other component of that typical ranged agility carry build of the Frostwolf's, right, Frostwolf Skull. I'm just taking a quick look here at Angry Testy. He did pick himself up a Shrunken Head, just bought it straight out. So he's going more for the survivability build at this point. So he's okay with his Whispering Helm as is for now. So.
Yeah, but I still expect him to go that Symbol of Rage, Geo, and then
there's nothing else to
Demonic.
do with that item. The Whispering Helm, that doesn't build into anything else. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, it doesn't. And it looks like there's going to be a team fight down in mid. Everyone's there.
Everyone is there. The Shell Surf goes down, but he's not going to be initiating that. The hook, I don't know where he was aiming, but it didn't hit anyone at all. We did put down a ward here. B-Diz, basically doubling the tower vision so that we can see what exactly is coming down, but it does look like Wahlin's going to back up. Now, they probably know that this Kongor, he's going to be up in 3, 2, 1. Token of Life is gone. Kongor is up, and they are there to take him out. We do have a ping going down here from Blue, but we didn't have any wards at all from SK, but they probably just saw the red dot appear so very quickly. They're going to make their way over here. It's not going to be enough. This Kongor, he goes down almost I won't say insta-gibbed, but at the same time, he melted very quickly. In goes the Portal Key from the Pestilence. The stun, unfortunately, not hitting anyone at all. It looks like he might be in a little bit of trouble. The Curse of Ground going down on him, but Magebane with that Shrunken Head right now, Soulsteer, it doesn't really matter if you have your Shrunken Head or not. He's going to be cleaned up there, and that just looks devastating for Wahlin, even picking off that Witch Slayer, and now with Soulsteer up again, he has nowhere to go, and that's going to be the first genocide of the game. 32 minutes, 6 kills to get it, but SK only losing Tobacco in that exchange is most likely going to be pushing right up the gut here to this mid set of towers in Raxus.
Yeah, that was a really strong team fight for the Legion team, but Pestilence missed that stun, and I think that really hurt them a lot because they couldn't take out that Voodoo Jester, and Pestilence took so much damage from Voodoo Jester.
So much Jester, yeah.
Well, with you, it might as well be damage, Jester. It might as well stand for damage.
There goes that mid tower, and we still have 30 seconds left on the Soulsteer to respawn. Right now, it does look like a ping going down on the Ancient, so maybe a Q there to back up. A lot of free hits are going to go down on this defensive tower regardless, so not exactly pushing their luck as well as their advantage. But hey, another tower after that genocide. Look at the differentials right now. 11,000 experience, 14,000 gold. That is a good lead to be sitting upon. And right now, I mean, Angry Testy showing Magebane. How many kills did he get in that last fight? Do we know?
I think he got 3.
I got a double tap.
No, just 2.
Yep,
he just got 2.
Tap. So, I mean, right now, showing that he's not down and out of this fight at all. At all.
And it looks like he's got the money for Symbol of Rage, so he'll probably be picking that up relatively soon as he picks up another creep. How many creeps is that so far? Just 2, or is that 3?
For the stacking purposes, it's at least 2. He does have 1 back in town, the Ice Ogre. And he does have now the Wolf Commander. Now, in terms of stealing creeps like this, the Wolf Commander, his buff is 30% base damage, which is huge for a melee physical damage carry. And the other buff that I haven't seen him use yet, the Ice Ogre has a frozen armor or a flash armor, and that slows attackers when they get hit. And now, if he stacked himself up with these, or he kept those creeps near for those team fights, we could see some very devastating results.
Yeah, but I just think that he should put the Ice Ogre armor on him and leave the Wolf for stacking because of how much AoE damage the Soul Stealer can do. And I think that Wolf would just die immediately if he was even near the team fight. So I don't think the buff would last very long or be worth it.
Right now he's just stacking them in base. Now these little yellow bars above them, those are timer bars. What are they timing?
I was just wondering that. I was like, is that how long they have till they expire?
Yeah, I don't see it going down, so I don't think it actually expires. Might just be something of the UI, but we'll leave it alone. We know that they don't expire. You keep them for life until they die. You make them die for you. That's the way it goes. Right now we do have SK gathered here up top for putting a lot of pressure here on this top defensive tower. This would be the last tower they need to down in order to start cracking all three lanes. And we did have that Mage Bane down in the mid. He does not want to get the Symbol of Rage. Instead, he picked himself up a Demonic Breastplate straight out of the shop. And right now he's looking very impressive stat-wise.
Yeah, he's got 31 armor, so that's he's going to be able to go through all of the minus armor and be safe. And Devour just put down double damage on the ground for Angry Testy to pick up and use if he sees it. I guess Angry Testy doesn't want it.
No, I'm pretty sure he wants
there it is.
Pretty sure.
And the Ice Ogre is here, along with the Wolf. So let's see if the Wolf survives.
Yeah, look at the ice armor here on the Devourer. It looks actually pretty cool. It almost looks like a double damage buff, doesn't it? Okay, so we do have a little bit of animation canceling on, but that Devour Hook not going to be doing anything at all. Angry Testy getting a quick kill there on the bubbles, not going to be surviving that at all. But Soul Steer is doing his best to do as much damage as he can in this fight. He's now on the defensive. He has to run away. Pestilence might want to take a cue out of that as his two companions are down as well. Malphus is still running around here, but this ice armor just looks ridiculous on all these heroes. Like right now, it's quite amazing how, we were just talking about that. And it's almost like, we read their minds, but a good team fight coming out of them. 3-for-1 exchange. Tobacco always seems to be the target. 5 deaths on him for SK. That's the top death on his team. And it seems almost every team fight he dies.
Yeah, he's getting focused down a lot because he needs to get focused down because he's putting out so much damage with that Chain Lightning, Bolt of Lightning, his ultimate, and because of those spell shards, they do so much damage.
The Ice Ogre's running for its life right now. And down it goes. It definitely did its job, and now we're going to have to pick up another one. But we did have BDiz join Angry Testy there. Or sorry, Tobacco in the death. A denied tower coming out of Wahlin. They don't want to give away that much gold quite yet. Devourer is in the trees. Very gutsy move on his part. He's going to run into the Soul Stealer, and now it looks like, he didn't really want to run into that one. We do have a graveyard going down, but a little bit of incorrect positioning there. Now, without that Devourer, no, Devourer not going to be getting that off. He was very confident he could get away from that, but no such luck. Oh, look at this. Angry Testy going to come in, get the revenge kill on the Witch Slayer. A little bit too late, but at the same time, look at that. Even the swap going down on Andromeda. You're not going to be catching this Mage Bane. But look at that. Pestilence coming in very strong. And they actually are going to take out this...
Oh, no!
Where'd he go?
He's at 200 HP. Oh. He's at 50 HP. And Tobacco's cleaning up.
Oh,
and gets cleaned up.
I really expected to see Angry Testy go down there, but look at that. Skin of his teeth, gonna live. Another sacrifice by Tobacco, now up to 6 deaths, but hey, at this point, you might as well get the Tobacco kill and keep Angry Testy alive because he is definitely having a little bit more of an impact on this game.
They were so close to killing Angry Testy, and then he just got that flash out right at the last moment. So I'm going to call that one come down to luck for Testy. He was down to 50 HP.
Yeah, it was like down to the wire, like skin of his teeth, fingernails on the edge. Yeah, it was just. I can think of more analogies, but let's not. So after that fight, 26-18 is the score. SK still in a very commanding lead up against Wahlin here, and the experience differential 14,000. Gold is about to hit the 17,000 mark. We still have a good few minutes until Kongor is back up, and right now. I mean, what else can we do? Hellbringer has himself the Tablet of Command as well as the Gnome's Wisdom. Not too sure when he picked that up, but it was probably a good amount of time ago. He has himself a Neophytes book as well. So what do you think he's going to be ending up here? Puzzle box? Or
Yeah, he's got the bowstring armband already, and he's about to buy puzzle box. I'm fairly sure. I'd probably be willing to put money on it, but I don't have much money to put down.
5 space
So
dollars, sir.
you have space dollars? I'll put 25 space dollars on that, then.
And a free dinner. I mean, what?
Ooh. Yeah.
So we'll have to see what he goes, but he most likely will be getting that puzzle box. Spell Shards at level 3 is sitting very pretty on Tobacco, when he's alive, that is. Haven't really been able to check his inventory these last team fights. But Cardinal on Devourer, he still only has that Mystic Vestments. He has not decided to upgrade that whatsoever. Instead, he has himself a Barbed Armor and a Storm Spirit. I don't think I've ever seen a Storm Spirit on a Devourer.
Nor have I, but it's a really good item, especially with Magebane, because if he starts getting locked down, all Devourer has to do is Storm Spear him, and then Magebane pops his shrunken head, and then he's saved. Like, Storm Spear is such a strong item on any hero who isn't a carry, because it can save anyone who's stunned, being chased, or it's such a good Jack of all trades item.
Are you looking at Tobacco? I think he's having a seizure. Actually, he might not be having a seizure, but that was an amazing hook that Devourer just landed. It's actually going to end up costing Tobacco his life, but the Storm Spear just preventing so much damage. But no, I'm not going to have to eat my words. He does go down, but so does the Soul Stealer. Pestilence, however, cleaning up the Devourer as well. 2 for 1. In comes a very angry Testy. Right now, he's looking very strong. He's going to go for this bubble. He's going to try so very hard, but no, so many disables going out. I don't see what Hellbringer wants to do here. Apparently just nothing. B does. He's going to throw down his Spirit Ward in order to pick up that kill on Bubbles. And just, I don't know, that looked really strong for Wahlin there, but then Angry Testy just laying down the hurt in that fight. He has picked himself up a Dancing Blade. I don't think he wants a Symbol of Rage at all. I think he wants a Wingbow.
Ooh. Well, it gives him more armor, more attack speed. Wingbow is a really strong item. But I would still like to see Symbol of Rage on him because of how much survivability it gives him. It's essentially another life if you don't get locked down.
Well, speaking of another life, I do think, I don't know what we can actually give up here from Angry Testy, so I'm pretty sure he's not going to be picking up this token because he doesn't want to throw anything away at this point.
I hope that they can give it to Tobacco, but it looks like the Hellborn might have an idea of what's going on right now.
Oh, they have an idea.
They're going to ninja it.
They're going to try their hardest right now. Pestilence, he's going to just blink right in there and get off his shrunken head. Looks like Congo's just forgotten at this point, but Beat is most likely going to be going down here. Actually, right now, Angry Testy is going to be chasing off Andromeda. Beat is most likely going to be living. He did use himself that Astrolabe he has sitting there, and geez, 2 kills or 3 kills right there. Angry Testy picking up at least 2 of them. Token of Life going to go down on Beat is. Oh, yeah.
That's what I was hoping.
Because Tobacco does not need it at all.
Apparently. But I was really hoping. No, but the monkey got the bananas, as he and I talked about yesterday. The monkey got the bananas as he needs it.
That sounds like such innuendo. It's just so I don't know, it just sounds so dirty to me. I don't know. But we do have Tobacco here. He's going to be chasing off this Bubbles and just trying to keep the enemy at bay. With still 3 heroes down, it's only Soul Stealer and Bubbles up. And right now, it does look like we're going to try to press that advantage. We do have Witch Slayer now alive, but at this point, he's been fairly ineffective at, well, anything at this. 287 is his score, so okay, I can't say that. He's done a very good job assisting. But at the same time, he still has 8 deaths to his name. This defense tower is likely going to be going down. A good swap going down on Angry Testy, but wow, look at the damage go down on that Andromeda. Out comes the Malphus with this Kelp Field, and they were going to try to take out Angry Testy. Not going to be working yet again. Soul Stealer threw out his ultimate. I don't actually think it hit anyone.
No, it was because of Cardinal. He really saved Angry Testy's life right there with that Storm Spirit. He had time. He was getting locked down. He had time to blink out before he died. It was a save by Cardinal.
Oh, and Pestilence is going to be hooked there, and that's going to be the end of the game. Another genocide coming out. GG, well played. SK Gaming going to be going on to the quarterfinals here in the last qualifying round of the GameReplays.org tournament. So that will be that ScizorLizard, and overall a fairly enjoyable game. 36-20 was the score, but towards the end, SK just started really dominating those team fights.
Yeah, and a quick shout out to Fruity and Trip and Riddick, two really awesome guys, and they're pretty funny. This is a really good game, and I'm ScizorLizard, signing out.
And I'm Four Court Jester. Come join us as we go on to the next game here for SK, and that should just be within the next few minutes. So come join us, stay tuned, subscribe, all that jazz, and we'll see you soon.